I hate seeing people quit. I hate it. I hate it. If there's anything I hate more, I hate seeing people quit, because I know that if they just push through and they just change some foundational things in their life, they can have what they want and need.
Yep.
On today's episode, we're celebrating 1 year of the Freedom Parents podcast by looking back at some of your favorite topics, building better habits and sticking to your goals. Enjoy this compilation of some of the most impactful and tactical moments from our first year.
Today, we want to dive into one thing that is standing between you and momentum, you and your goals. What's that one thing, Harold?
Intensity.
I like it. You said that very intense.
Intensity.
So we were coaching one of our higher level groups.
Yeah.
The other day, and you sent this really impactful message in there, actually. And when I read it, I immediately thought about different seasons in our life when we lasered in on like one goal.
Yeah.
And we just decided, you know, when people say, oh, you just have to decide. And I used to always hate that because like, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to decide? Until we had gone through some different things and we had our goals in front of us. And it was like, for me, I feel like it's that moment where you see an opportunity in front of you, and that opportunity is matched by belief and desire. And all of a sudden,
sounds like Eminem song.
Yeah.
You got.
I love that song.
Oh,
but anyway, and then in that moment, you see the only thing standing between you and your goal is you taking massive action. That's what it means. That's the moment of the decision in my mind.
Yeah.
And what happens after that?
Well, I just think of any time I'm like stuck in my goals. It could be health. It could be like, all right, think about going to the gym. You just feel like, I don't want to be here. You kind of going through the motions. Now, I will say this, though. Sometimes going through the motions is better than not going through the motions.
Yeah, it depends on where your mental state is and your emotional state and what you're going through.
Don't just skip. It's better to just go through the motions if you're mentally there. But sometimes and often people are always just going through the motherfucking motions.
Yes.
And wondering why
discernment
things...
is powerful.
Exactly. And wondering why things is... The act of that is so painful. It's not creating the results they want. It's because they're always just going through the motions. And I know when and it can be simple to flip the switch. So for instance, when you're at the gym, whenever I realize or feel that I'm lacking or dragging or procrastinating, it's because you lack or I lack intensity. Mm-hmm. So with your workouts, it's like, it's just a flip of a switch to just pick up the intensity and your body will follow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like your body will follow. Or it could be at a goal of in your business. I don't want to make the call. I don't want to make the post. I don't want to do the video. You lack intensity. Like it's like you elevate that intensity. And that can break down to, like we were sharing in a post with some of our leaders in a group that we're mentoring, about take whatever goal it is you have and divide that time you gave yourself to hit it by 12. So when you create structural tension and you decrease the time limit, like you shrink the time to achieve the goal, that means that you have to level up in your intensity. Mm-hmm. You have no choice. Like your intensity has to increase to support the shrink in time, the time frame to achieve the goal. And what I was writing to them, I said, I want all you guys, I want to ask you a question. Where could you benefit in your life by turning up your intensity? So take whatever goal it is and divide that time you gave yourself to hit it by 12. And that freaks a lot of people out.
Yeah.
And it should. Mm-hmm. Because it's going to challenge those thoughts and those conditioned, right? Habits, that the way you've been operating to level the F up. Yep. Right?
It's when you decide to push past a pain threshold. We've all seen the cute little meme with your comfort zone, right? And then the circle, and everything magical and wonderful happens outside of that.
Right.
But with the intensity, for in your example of like working out and stuff, if you want to push your body and your physique and your strength and everything to the next level, it's going to require the intensity to push past something that is going to initially cause you some kind of pain or discomfort, right?
Yeah.
But what happens after that is this feeling of being alive.
Yeah.
Like this adrenaline rush.
That's a good point, because that's what it does. Like with working out, and this probably some people just can't, it may not be able to comprehend this if they're not really into lifting, or because I know some people are scared of the gym. And we're using this as an example, but you can apply it to anywhere's business or whatever. But it's kind of like when I feel like I'm lacking in the gym, for instance, as an example, sometimes you got to go chase that pain.
Mm-hmm.
That pain of that acid, right? That lactic acid in your legs or whatever it is you're pumping. Sometimes you got to go chase that.
Yep.
And then that increases or changes the frequency that you're operating, hence increases the intensity and changes you physically.
And it expands your pain threshold too. Suddenly something that caused great discomfort with consistency over time, now it's like, nah, that doesn't even bother me anymore. You know, business building activities and things that once are, you know, foreign to you, when you laser in on your goal and that you're going at it with this, you just ferociousness of like, I'm attacking this, then all of a sudden it's actually not that uncomfortable anymore. And it reconditions yourself to actually chase after something with force, with might, with power and strength, which is how we should go after every single goal in life.
The easiest place to start, to your point, is the morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
It's the start, right? It's the start.
Yeah.
And I believe that part of why we've been successful, and I think was a good change for us, was when we started collecting wins out the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say it again, we were reacting.
Confidence.
So when you get up and the kids beat you up, if you have children and the kids beat you up, not literally beat you up, but wake up before you are just reacting to them not being able to find their socks, or you're reacting to them running around trying to fill up their water bottles for school. You're reacting, and then you're
freaking out about being late.
Yeah, your whole mood, the rest of your day is set. The frequency, you've dialed into frequency reactive for the rest of the day. Yeah. And you're trying to catch up, and you never can catch up.
No.
But if you start with the routine, like you said, you start with the morning. What's the easiest win to get? Beat the sun up.
Yeah.
You know, we keep saying that, but I'm telling you, there's power in that. There's silence in the morning. Like you said, you get with your Bible, you get with God, you beat the sun up, you collect a win. So the whole day is collecting wins and collecting wins. So at the end of the day, well, maybe you had some challenges, maybe you missed the mark. At the end of the day, you can look and be like, well, I won here, I won here, I won here, I won here. That's a winning record for the day. Right?
Absolutely.
That changes your whole, I'll say, frequency again.
Well, you get confidence through competence. When we feel competent that we can succeed in any area of our life. It sounds silly to some, but I'm telling you, there might be someone that's going to start doing, 5 push-ups every day.
Yeah.
But they actually do it, and they do those 5 push-ups. It doesn't seem like much, right? But the act of committing to something, even if they miss a day, because you will miss a day, that's not, consistency doesn't mean that you're going to do something every single day and never fail at doing that thing. It means that you're going to have moments where you do miss the mark. But despite that, you get up and you keep going anyways. Yeah. And that's where the habits are built, is actually the commitment. So through doing that, you get confidence through competence. You own the skill. When you own the skill, that's where, so many people are like, how do I become more confident? How do I become more confident? I'm like, well, start winning in any little area of your life.
Yeah, collect the wins.
Any little area. And then once you've created one habit, start habit stacking. I love to say, habit stacking. Then you define another area of your life that you can grow and prosper in, and this is prospering. This is wealth, for sure, that you don't measure in a bank account. But it creates energy in life that just flows out of you. There's so many things, from how do you go to bed at the proper time every night? Well, I'm going to tell you, for me, I can't watch TV because it keeps me up.
But the interesting thing is, what we should say is at the night, we start dimming the lights, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously, and that really starts changing the tone of the house because the kids are all running around like Stellan. He's
After
a maniac.
dinner and when bedtime, bath times are going on.
Our 6-year-old Dennis the Menace, right?
Yep.
We're both brunette, black hair. The rest of the house he's blonde, right? He's our Dennis the Menace. But anyway, we start dimming the lights and it starts checking him a little bit. Like, chill out, dude. It's time. The sun's going down. The lights are going down. It's all these little habits. And we've been doing that for what? I don't know, 7 before he was born.
Yeah.
So he came into a healthy habit. Mm-hmm. And that's part of what our business is about too. Our little side hustle that's become a legacy business, but is you start building those habits of health and those little things start adding up. And when your habits of health outweigh your habits of disease, that's when you got a pretty good life. And it's not that you'll never have habits of disease because what's a habit of disease? Oh, you stay up late. Well, it's not that we never stay up late. It's just that we often, more times, have a routine of going to bed early. It's not that we never have an alcoholic beverage. That's a habit of disease because there's really no
Right.
You could sit there and argue that there's.
People dream up these black and white scenarios and because then again, they're chasing perfectionism, which again, isn't real. It's just your perception. When you think perfectionism or you say, oh, that's perfect, that's just your perception. That's all it is.
And that's a reason to justify to just throw the towel
why
in.
you can't. Yes.
And why I can't.
So it drives me nuts now. It drives me nuts because I'm like, oh my God, you just painted this whole scenario and picture of why you cannot.
Yeah.
Therefore, defending why you should never exert any energy in even trying.
And we did it for years.
It's ridiculous. It drives me nuts.
Yeah. When you look back, you're like, yeah.
Because I hate seeing people quit. I hate it. I hate it. If there's anything I hate more, I hate seeing people quit because I know that if they just push through and they just change some foundational things in their life, they can have what they want and need. And it breaks my heart to see someone else live life with a broken heart, that like feeling inadequate or they didn't chase their dreams or they didn't live up to their potential. I don't like that. I don't want people to have that. But at the same time, you can't act like what you think are small things don't matter. There's the conflict between, I know I should keep going, but I'm so disappointed in myself that I feel like I should just give up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's that whole perfection and it turns into the trap of tomorrow. And it's like, oh, I'm going to throw the towel in and I'll restart tomorrow. And then I'll restart next week. Or I'll restart January 1st.
Mm-hmm, right?
Like the whole population.
And then that day never comes.
And that day never comes, or it's over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And that's why I haven't read it yet, but just a plug, not that he needs our plug, but that I'm really interested because I heard him speak, but Ed Milet's book, and I heard him speak, and it was about just one more day. And he told it, or I think is it one more? Power of one more. But what he was talking about when I heard him in Texas speak, and it was pretty cool front stage, and he was looking in my soul when he'd stand in front of me. He's really good at connecting. But his dad was an alcoholic, and he had tried to quit many, many times for decades. And he told some traumatic situations and stories that was like his dad, how he acted in public, from headbutting somebody in church and knocking them out. And It was pretty crazy. Yeah. So finally something traumatic happened. I think his mom might have took them and said they were leaving. And his dad said, I'm going to quit. And he said, again, basically someone said. And he goes, just for one day, just for like one day at a time, basically. It was one more day. And then he'd get through that day and it was one more day. And he'd get through that day and it was one more day. And I recently actually did that when I was dialing in my nutrition. And I said, hey, I just want to do a quick little like rip lean kind of thing. So I dialed in some calories kind of low and I said, no alcohol. And I'm not a huge drinker, but I'll partake in a cocktail here and there. But it's interesting when you put that on the shelf when how often you realize you do drink. But I kept going one more day, and one more day turned into 17 days, and one more day turned into 25 days, and one more day turned into 27 days. And I think that's when I went to Texas and ended up breaking it. But it was a conscious decision to break it because like, 27 days, but it was that one more day type of philosophy.
Yeah.
That type of view,
Mm-hmm.
and not just throwing in the towel if I would have went off. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So anyway.
Absolutely. I think so the whole idea of people saying, oh, no, I'm starting over. It frustrates me. One, I felt this way too, but in reality, as a coach too, through helping other people, it's given me so much. I've been so blessed through this experience, as you have too, because I realize through my own walk and then walking people through their journeys as well, is that you're never starting over.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're never really starting over, because no one can discredit you for what you've already accomplished except for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
No one can take the knowledge that you gained through that process. Nobody can take even the accomplishment, even if you don't sit here today at the height of your accomplishment and whatever you were working on. No one can take from you that you did it.
Well, think of how debilitating it is to have that thought that who wants to restart all the time?
Mm.
Like to think to start over.
Oh,
like just to think how
day
heavy.
one again.
Well, think how heavy that is, like mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So just the thought of that, as opposed to, I think what we replace it with is just to say, you're just continuing. You're just continuing. So instead of like, let's say you're supposed to eat 6, like we're going to go nutrition because that's our background. That's what we deal with. You could apply this to anything, but say you're supposed to eat 5 or 6 healthy meals in a day. That's to support your goals. And you eat 1 good, 2 good, 3 good, 4th good. You get to the 5th one and you don't. It's not, oh, I'll start again tomorrow. It's not, oh, I'll start again on Monday after the weekend, because that's getting you what you got in your whole life. It's to say, oh, you know what? I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. I screwed up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's continue on the 6th meal.
Yes.
It's,
oh my gosh,
and then it's
yes.
continue. You get what I'm saying? That's
Yes.
the game changer. And then collectively over time, then you start collecting wins.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start collecting wins, you start gaining confidence. And then over time, it's like the book Atomic Habits, which some people think Atomic Habits means like this big habit, like atomic bomb type of thing. But really, the author talks about atoms and how small they are,
Mm-hmm.
but how powerful they can be. And especially when they're working all together. So you think of atomic habits, it's just these little bitty consistency things, habits adding up over time. So the point of the meals, it's check, 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 check. Oh, went off. No, don't start over. Continue on the next meal. And those things add up. So then when you're eating 40, so you have 40 good meals in a week and you ate 35 good and 5 not so good, you're winning.
Yeah.
But the person who would have started again for New Year's 3 months later,
Yeah.
or it's a Friday and I'll start again on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
you're now 12 meals in the lose versus the win. It's just math.